Nathan, good morning. Well, is it good morning where you are right now?
It is good morning.
Okay, good morning. Where are you dialing in from?
I'm in Connecticut right now, New Haven.
Nice, beautiful New Haven, Connecticut. And we were connected by the wonderful folks at Invisalign. When did you start working with them?
It's a pretty new partnership, actually, but really excited to start the partnership and really excited to start the Invisalign treatment.
And did you know much about Invisalign before agreeing to work with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, most of my family has done Invisalign already, and they've all said amazing things about it. And it's hard to beat the most advanced clear aligner system. So, as soon as the partnership came about, I was really excited to start working with them and really excited to start treatment.
When I was a kid, I had clear brackets, so I didn't get the full Invisalign treatment. So tell me a little bit about it so I can learn for the sake of the future. It's low on pain, no one sees it.
More or less, yeah, that's exactly right. I never really wanted braces as a kid, and actually, well, braces were pretty expensive for us. I have two brothers and two sisters, so braces were kind of out of line for our family. But now that I have this opportunity to get clear liners, it's an awesome opportunity, and definitely can use some work on my teeth. So I'm really excited to build my confidence with Invisalign aligners.
So speaking of that family, I've read that you grew up in Utah. How much of your life did you spend around Salt Lake City?
I grew up in Salt Lake City. I was born there in '99 and lived there for about 12 years or so. And yeah, it was a really awesome place. My parents are still out in Utah. I really enjoy being out there and still consider it home.
I got to go back to Utah about a month ago. I've been to Park City a few times to cover it for media stuff. Is that a place that you had the chance to spend any time growing up?
Limited time. There's not a huge figure skating operate. I guess actually now there's a pretty solid rink in Park City, but at the time when I was training, I spent most of my time in Salt Lake City, where the 2002 Olympics were or the figure skating practice venue for 2002 Olympics were in Salt Lake City, proper close to the University of Utah, and that's where I trained and spent most of my time.
Cool. So looking at your career, this is not your first partnership with a high level brand. It's not your last partnership, hopefully, with a high level brand. But when I was a kid, second time that I'm mentioning being a kid, because believe it or not, I was a kid at one point in time. The figure skaters that won medals that were famous, you only really saw them every 4 years there's a Winter Olympics. And now looking at you, you're on TV all the time, you're in high profile stuff, we're seeing you on tour, etc. Where you're at now,
Mhm.
did you dream that you'd be at this place?
I think truthfully, as a young figure skater, my dream was always just to like continue getting better and continue trying to go to the next competition and the next competition. I never really went in with the intent of being like, oh, I want to, be able to do this or that with from my skating. It's always just what's directly related to my skating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's been really exciting. It's been a really amazing adventure. I never really thought I'd make it this far in skating in itself, and I never thought I'd make it this far outside of skating as well. But I'm really happy with everything that I've accomplished, and it's all thanks again going back to Salt Lake City, my roots and my team, my family, and all the people that have helped me get to where I am in skating.
I'd have to imagine it was a real being thrown into the fire learning thing to learn how to do interviews and media stuff and take photos and sign autographs and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still not my greatest comfort zone. Being on the ice is definitely where I'm most confident, but yeah, definitely learning my way.
When you ask particular professional athletes, hey, how long are you going to do this to? It's a different age thing depending on the sport. Like if you're talking to an NFL player and they're planning on being on the field past the age of 40, you go, are you crazy? Maybe even 35 is old for the NFL. For figure skating, is that something that you could do into your 50s, 60s, 70s if you're in great shape?
Definitely not. I think it's just because it's such a it's skill based and performance based sport that once you get past a certain age threshold, it becomes a lot more challenging to maintain the skills and the abilities that you've had. So I think that the age threshold is pretty wide, but definitely into the 30s, it's like okay, you're kind of getting close.
The last question I have for you before I let you go is some athletes, the music that they're listening to means everything in the world and it's what gets them going. In your case, when you have control of the radio or the speakers, whatever it is, what do you choose to listen to?
It's a good question. My music taste is pretty diverse, and especially when it comes to skating, I'm like pretty open to skating to anything. Um, kind of that's a conversation with my choreographer and what we're trying to portray that season. But when it doesn't come to particularly like performing, I'm a huge fan of indie music, but I also like hip hop. I also like pop. I like sort of like remix songs, stuff like that. There's a lot of I'm honestly very open to all styles of music, so nothing super in particular.
Well, Nathan, looking forward to whatever is coming next for you. Hope to see you live on tour here in Long Island, New York in the near future as well.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Paltrocast.